Steve McQueen. When I was a little boy I wanted to grow up to be Steve McQueen. Steve McQueen, the coolest doggone mother scratcher on the silver screen. I'd drive real fast everywhere, no one would ever catch me. And I'd kick your ass if you pissed me off, so be careful what you ask me. And I'd never have an empty bottle or an empty bed. And as cool as Paul Newman is, I bet Steve could hoe up his head. Steve McQueen. Bullitt was my favorite movie that I'd ever seen. I totaled my go-kart trying to imitate that chase scene. That duster had 6 hubcaps, know what I mean? And I love the way they all flew off when it landed in that ravine. Steve McQueen. I really loved The Getaway back when I was 8. That pussy Alec Baldwin sucked in the remake. And speaking of pussy, I guess Steve got it all. He fucked Faye Dunaway and he fucked Ali MacGraw. Steve McQueen. Steve McQueen. When I was a little boy I wanted to grow up to be Steve McQueen. Steve McQueen, the coolest goddamn motherfucker on the silver screen. Yeehaw! I went to see The Hunter on my first date. The Hunter was the last movie Steve McQueen lived to make. They took my driver's license when I was just 16. The year mesothelioma killed Steve McQueen. I met your mama when I was 16. You couldn't have been any more than 3. She caught me stealing y'all's color TV. She called the cops and they arrested me. She was the wildest thing I'd ever seen. The way she pointed that shotgun at me. The police hauled my ass off to jail. Your mama signed the trailer to help make the bail. She picked me up and drove me home. Said I'll learn you not to roam. Green grass under my feet. But all I can think about's the dirt underneath. Bulldozers and dirt, oh bulldozers and dirt. Behind the trailer, my desert. Them red clay piles are heaven on earth. I get my rocks off on bulldozers and dirt. I got a pickup that's up on blocks. And I'm up to my ass in debt and hawk. And I can't get the red stains off of my socks. And I can't get you off of my mind. I've lived with your mama for 11 years. Through good times and bad times, fist fights and tears. But something comes over me when you come near. So won't you come over and sip on this beer? Stacy was a troubled teen ever since she was 12. She felt the world close in on her and thought she needed help. Listening to the radio on a Sunday night, she heard the preacher calling out to call up on his helpline. He sounded so nice, he sounded so inviting, and for a small donation she could have the Lord Almighty. She told him her story. He told her his thoughts. He said you better get yourself right in the eyes of God. Too much sex too little, Jesus. Satan's made a slave of you. The Lord will set you free. You don't know God from diddly. And you're old enough to breed the sins of me, and you are the reason he did bleed. Now a word from our sponsor, then another troubled teen with too much sex, too little, Jesus. Stop that dope smoking. Stop that masturbation. Take the Lord into your heart and stop that fornication. We're building us an army, gonna knock out Satan. Visa or MasterCard. Our operators are waiting. Too much sex, too little Jesus. My mama told me, your life is such a wreck. You're dumber than dog shit is what my daddy said. I was just 13 when they showed me the door. I keep their picture but don't look at it no more. My first wife told me, you need to get a life. My third wife told me to get another wife. I brought a bottle and the van's parked by that tree. So come on out with me, if you want to be number 4. Ain't held down a job since 1984. I get by holding up convenience stores. I get by on liquor, guns, and luck. But I'm scared to death which one might run out first. I seen my past in everything that I despise. I've seen my future and I'm scared to close my eyes. Is that my ghost that I see in my fears? Or just my reflection in my mama's tears? Sometimes I feel like shit. Sometimes that ain't half of it. Sometimes I'm so high I'm scared to go to sleep. Sometimes I'm lower than the company I keep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. By the time you were born there were 4 other siblings. With your mama awaiting your daddy in jail. Your oldest brother was away at a home. And you didn't meet him till you was 19 years old. Old enough to know better. Old enough to know better. But you took to his jawline and long sandy hair. How he made you feel like none of the others. And the way he looked at you touched you deep down in there. So you jumped on his bike and rode into the sunset. But the sequel it started with the next morning sun. And the dew on the bike seat and you all aglow. From the love he put in you in a life on the run. Now, the district attorney said he might have forgiven. You had lots of reasons to turn out this way. But he'll throw you in jail for them 4 little babies. You made and delivered along the way. We were heathens in their eyes at the time. I guess I am just a heathen still. And I never have repented from the wrongs that they say I have done. I done what I feel. Heathens. And I knew the Hill Boys would put us away. But my daddy wasn't afraid. He said we'll fight till the last Lawson's last living day. I never knew how it all got started. A problem with Holland before we were born. And I don't know the name of that boy we tied down. And beat till he just couldn't walk anymore. But I know the caliber in Daddy's chest. And I know what Holland Hill drives. The state let him go, but I guess it was best. 'Cause nobody needs all us Lawsons alive. Daddy said one of the boys had come by. The lumberman's favorite son. He said, beat him real good but don't dare let him die. And if you see Holland Hill run. Now I said, they ain't give us trouble no more. That we ain't brought down on ourselves. But a chain on my back and my ear to the floor. And I'll send all the Hill Boys to hell. And I've got a family in Mobile Bay. And they've never seen my daddy's grave. But that don't bother me, it ain't marked anyway. 'Cause I got dead brothers in Lauderdale South. And I got dead brothers in East Tennessee. My daddy got shot right in front of his house. He had noon to fall on but me. It's Decoration Day. And I've got a mind to go spit on his grave. If I was a hill, I'd have put him away. And I'd fight till the last Lawson's last living day. You want to grow up to paint houses like me, a trailer in my yard till you're 23. You want to be old after 42 years, keep dropping the hammer and grinding the gears. Well, I used to go out in a Mustang, a 302 Mach 1 in green. Me and your mama made you in the back and I sold it to buy her a ring. And I learned not to say much of nothing and I figured you already know. But in case you don't or maybe forgot, I'll lay it out real nice and slow. 6 months in a St. Florian foundry, they call it Industrial Park. Then hospital maintenance and tech school just to memorize Frigidaire parts. But I got to missing your mama and I got to missing you too. So I went back to painting for my old man and I guess that's what I'll always do. So don't try to change who you are, boy. And don't try to be who you ain't. And don't let me catch you in Kendale with a bucket of wealthy man's paint. Don't call what you're wearing an outfit. Don't ever say your car is broke. Don't sing with a fake British accent. Don't act like your family's a joke. Have fun, but stay clear of the needle. Call home on your sister's birthday. Don't tell them you're bigger than Jesus. Don't give it away. Don't give it away. I've always been a religious man. But I met the banker and it felt like sin. He turned my bailout down. The banker man, he let into me and spread my name around. He thinks I ain't got a lick of sense 'cause I talk slow and my money's spent. Now, I ain't the type to hold it against, but he better stay off my farm. 'Cause it was my daddy's and his daddy's before. And his daddy's before and his daddy's before. 5. There will be no this inserted audio clip if you buy the software license key or activation key. Generations and an unlocked door and a loaded burglar alarm. Lots of pictures of my purty family in the house where I was born. House has stood through 5 tornadoes, droughts, floods, and 5 tornadoes. I'd rather wrestle an alligator than to face the banker's scorn. 'Cause he won't even look me in the eye. He just takes my land and apologize. With pen, paper, and a friendly smile, he says the deed is done. The sound you hear is my daddy spinning. Like to invite him for some pot roast beef and mashed potatoes and sweet tea. Follow it up with some banana pudding and a walk around the farm. Show him the view from McGeetown Hill. Let him stand in my shoes and see how it feels to lose the last thing on earth that's real. I'd rather lose my legs and arms. Bury his body in the old sinkhole under cold November sky. Then damned if I wouldn't go to church on Sunday and look the preacher in the eye. Last night you had a dream about a Lord so forgiving. He might show compassion for a heathen he damned. You awoke in a jail cell, alone and so lonely. 7 years in Michigan,